What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Friday night. Hope that weekend is off to a great start. I know I'm ready for some damn Eagles football, so let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we will be talking about, of course, it's Friday, the roster comparison and the matchup advantages. Now, last week, we know how that went. So we take this all with a grain of salt, but just looking at, where the strengths are for each team and, where we should be able to dominate in this game. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about the injuries, the standings, all that great stuff to get to know both of these teams and get ready for this matchup. Any questions, any comments are more than welcome. So I thank you guys for taking the time, and let's get into it. Now, we do know that Jordan Howard is ruled out for this game. So unfortunately, we thought he might be ready for this game, but he will sit out again. Man, having him, this team has changed ever since he's on the roster, pounding that rock, and he is just a different type of runner than any of the guys we have. So it's going to be unfortunate that he's out, but we got to continue running that damn ball. Now, we don't know if we'll have Boston Scott either. He is questionable with an illness. So illness isn't an injury, so maybe he'll be ready. We'll see. We'll definitely keep our eyes open on that one, but we could be down a couple backs, and it could just be Miles and Kenny. We'll talk about that later, but also questionable, Jalen Hurts. We know that he's dealing with little ankle soreness there, but I think he'll be ready to go. We have the bye week after this week, so he can get some rest there. I think, he's trying to do everything he can in these final 5 games to really prove, he can be the quarterback one and maybe give him another year to see what he has. But we shall see. Now, we did protect 4 players on the roster, so we'll see if we bring anybody up for special teams usage with Davian Taylor on the IR now. Maybe you see Jacoby Stevens. Jared Maiden was brought up last week due to special teams work, got the first tackle of the game. That was awesome to see. You got Hightower and Clark there. Maybe somebody gets brought up, but we'll keep our eyes peeled on that one. But that is all of the Eagles news that we have so far. We'll see if tomorrow we get more news on Boston Scott or Jalen Hurts. We know Jordan Howard is out. Now we'll get into the Jets side of things. They have some questionables here. One of them is Corey Davis. Now, he was, apparently doubtful, probably not going to play, but now he is upgraded to questionable. So he might play. They might have themselves another weapon. We'll see how that goes, but they've got quite the list here. Other than Corey Davis, you got Folaranzu, Fatukasi. We've kept up with that injury throughout the week because they are hurting at defensive tackle. Jonathan Franklin Myers, one of the most underrated defensive ends in the game. He is also questionable. We'll definitely keep our eyes on that one. And then starting linebacker Quincy Williams, also questionable. And then on the offense, starting tackle Morgan Moses. So they've got some important questionables here, and we'll see how that goes in these next couple of days. But they could be hurting, and that would not be good news for them. Now, also not great news. We've talked about Sheldon Rankins being in the middle there with Quinnen Williams. He is doubtful to play, so it looks like they could definitely be hurting at the defensive tackle position if, the other guy misses as well. So we'll see. We know Trevon Wesco, we talked about, he will be probably out. They talked about his injury, maybe keep him out for a couple weeks. So we'll see what happens there, but that is all the injury news they have, but they also protected a few players this week, so maybe they bring somebody up. Austin Walter got some snaps last week at running back. We'll see if Ronnie Blair gets brought up to help that defensive line. But that is it for the injury news, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into it. Let's first take a gander at this Jets team. Obviously Robert Saleh getting his first shot at being a head coach. Obviously 2 rookie head coaches going against each other. Mike LaFleur running that offense. We'll see what he can do against Jonathan Gannon, but I'm intrigued to see what Sirianni versus Saleh looks like. I think that, both of them have a lot of promise, but they're young. A lot of people aren't giving people much time to develop, whether it's players or coaches anymore. So I think those guys, though, have promising futures. So interesting roster they've got, and the coaches they have. But this team right now, bottom of the bottom of the AFC East, because let's be real here. The Jets are just not a good team. And it's weird to see the Patriots still at the top there. They just, obviously lost Tom Brady couple years ago. So, son of a damn you, Bill Belichick. But the Bills are right behind him, you see, but they're pretty much competing with the Dolphins there. I'd love to see the Dolphins start losing some more damn games so that pick could get better for us. But we talk about Nick Sirianni, this young coaching staff of the Eagles. It's so many ups and downs, but we got to weather through the storms, man, and just hope that they keep growing, hope that they keep getting better. And, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think that they'll get another year. But, I've seen promising things, but I've also seen things that scare the living hell out of me. So we got to hope that they come out against a Jets team. You should be able to dominate. And if you don't, then there will be cause for concern. We're sitting there almost at the bottom of our division. We've got the Giants half a game back. All they need to do is win to have the same record. So that's kind of concerning. But we knew going into this year that there would be growing pains. This would be, a year that we needed to get some answers rather than wins. So, look, I love winning. I hate losing. It makes me want to jump out of a window, but it is what it is right now. So, what are we going to do? My man Drew in the building. What is going on? Yeah, I'm looking forward to this Jets matchup, hoping that Jalen Hurts, I think he's going to play. Obviously listed as questionable, but yeah, looking ready for a bounce back here where, not only the run game, but the passing. I want to see everything flourish, open up the playbook. You should be able to do that against a Jets team. So we'll see what they do, but I'm pretty excited about it. So let's get into it. Let's look at this offense that they're throwing at us. 29th in rushing. They're 11th in passing, but that's because they have to pass all the time because they suck. They're 21st in total yardage and tied for 27th in total points per game. That is not very good. So it's a struggling offense. They are giving up 2.8 sacks per game, 1.7 interceptions thrown per game, half a fumble loss per game, and 2.2 turnovers total per game, which is the worst in the NFL. So this is an offense that you would think, we should be able to pounce on. This defense has not been getting any sacks, not been getting any turnovers. So we need to see this defense pounce on them. But then you're looking at our offense. I think that honestly, we know how to run the ball. We need to just run the damn ball. So, oh God, for the love of God, please run the ball. And then passing. I want to see the passing game get going. I want to see Jalen Hurts, continue his development, his reads, and obviously had a horrible game last week. Jets, are a little underrated when it comes to defense, and they're bad right now. Let's not be kidding ourselves here, but they do have some playmakers. They can do some things, and they have a coach that's a defensive-minded guy. So we'll see what they bring to the table. But we're total 18th in total yardage and tied for 12th in total points. So this offense should be able to get going. We'll see there. We're not really turning the ball over. I love that. Not giving up a lot of sacks. This offensive line is dominating. So you have to use that offensive line, run that damn ball, baby, and continue to, not shoot yourselves in the foot as you did last week. You got to get back to that. So we'll see. But that's the offense for you. And this is the roster comparison and the matchup advantages. So we're looking at both these teams. We're starting with the offense here. You know how it goes. We look at each position one by one, and we talk about who has the advantage, not who's better, but who has the advantage in this game. So let's get into it. Let me know your thoughts as I go through this. Who do you have having the advantage at each position? Let me know if you agree, disagree, what your thoughts on this game are, whatever. You're having any kind of thoughts, let me know. And yeah, the Eagles can't take anyone lightly, but that's any given Sunday. You never can. So we talked about that last week with the Giants. That was that trap game we talked about. We were riding that high, and the Giants, it's a divisional game in their house, and we're still a very young team with a lot of growth to be had. So we had to stay patient. We knew a game like that could happen, and it did. So this team, a little bit different, not as much playmakers. And look, Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback, but Zach Wilson, don't care if he, what he did in college. I don't care. He sucks. Don't like him. And I think that we should be able to beat that ass. Let's go Birds. I don't like Zach Wilson. I'll be real with you. Joe Flacco, if he has to come in, I think we can dominate both these guys. I really am not afraid of them. So not much to be said other than it's time to start getting some damn sacks. It's time to start getting, we have been getting some turnovers with, especially Darius Slay. Love to see it. I'd love to see some more of that, some interceptions. Dude, this kid needs to get rattled. And I think we are the perfect team to do that. So great time to get this team rolling on defense as well. But this offense, I think, Jalen Hurts, hopefully he's healthy. But, he's still auditioning to be the guy of the future. And I think, we need him to be healthy for this game. We need to see him go out and dominate in the games that you need to. So people can say, oh, it's just the Jets, whatever. I don't care. I want to see what he does against just the Jets. So for me, I think that this defense compared to our defense, not the same. I think we're a little bit better. We're a little average. They're below average. So I'm going with our quarterback, who I think is much better than Zach Wilson. Don't care about where he's drafted, what you want to say. Yeah, maybe he's a better pocket passer at this time, but he's on a more horrible team with less weapons, and it's just nope. Advantage, Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts. Let's go, Birds. Now we're going to keep it moving on to the running backs. They have to roll with Tevin Coleman due to Michael Carter being on the IR. Ty Johnson, LaMichael Perrine, and then you've got fullback Nick Bowden brought in here because of that injury. We talked about Trevon Wesco, who plays fullback and tight end for the Jets. So you've got these guys in here, but we also talked about Walter on their practice squad. They brought him up last week. Maybe he gets brought up, but this isn't, something that's really scary to you. We have struggled at times against the run. We've gotten better at it, but we need to be able to shut down Tevin Coleman, Ty Johnson, whoever the hell it is. But yeah, I think that Alex Singleton, TJ Edwards, great at, what they're doing right now. And it sucks Davian Taylor's gone, but Singleton has come in and done really well. So continue to do that, continue to shut down the run, and I think we'll be all right. On the other side of the ball, the Eagles, you have to continue running the ball. We are the top team right now in rushing. Keep that up, man. Keep running that damn ball. So talk about being the number one rush offense. Well, don't get away from it just because I really don't care. Whatever injuries or whoever it is, Miles Sanders, Kenny Gainwell, that's fine. Just keep running the ball. So that's how things work and how things will help Jalen Hurts. That will help his development, his progression, just where he's at right now. That's just a smart thing to do, in my opinion. So keep running that ball. But for me, the advantage goes to Philadelphia Eagles, the number one rushing team in the NFL right now. So I think that this offense is built around running the ball. So you have to continue doing that. And I'm giving the advantage to the Eagles. Now, wide receiver, Elijah Moore, man, that kid is pretty damn phenomenal. Jamison Crowder, one of the most slept on slot receivers in the game. Denzel Mims, really overrated. But he might get some snaps. He sees snaps every few games here. And because of the injuries to Corey Davis being questionable and Keelan Cole out with being on the COVID list, they'll have to deal with Berrios, who can get in there and make plays at times. But you've got a lot of slot guys here. So I think that the Eagles should be able to shut them down. This secondary has done much better getting turnovers. And I think that these are the kind of guys, though, that can hurt you when we allow so much dink and dunk, bend, don't break kind of defense, right? Where we allow these offenses to dink and dunk. Well, that's what these guys are really made of here. So you got to watch out for that. The same with the running backs there. Got to watch out for this little dink and dunk game where you get these guys the ball in open space and they can make things happen. So you never want to sleep on anybody, man. So when I say like there's an advantage, I'm just saying where the advantage is. I'm not saying like, oh, we're going to win the game because of this. It's just taking a gander at the roster, giving an opportunity for you guys to see, what we're going up against and to know everything about every single person on their roster as we do our roster. Now, these receivers, I think, should be able to work their corners, man. Bryce Hall is an actually underrated corner in this league, I believe, but I think that these guys will be just fine. Devontae Smith is phenomenal. Reagor with those 2 drops, maybe he gets a chance to redeem himself. Quez Watkins out there, he needs to redeem himself still. I need to see these young guys getting some work at the receiver position. It's horrible, other than Devontae Smith, that nobody's been able to do stuff. And like, I wanted to see Goddard getting the ball too. So I'm not just saying only the receivers, but I need to see these receivers get some work here. They need to show us what they have in these last 5 games. I still feel we need to add a big free agent wide receiver, maybe go after one in the mid rounds of the draft. Day 2, we'll see. But for me, I really think that these receivers can get it going. And I think Jalen Hurts can be a big part of that. And obviously, establishing that run game will allow them to do that. So I'm going the advantage to the Eagles. They are probably not going to have Corey Davis. We'll see about that. They don't have Keelan Cole. It's just, and I feel our secondary is much better. So the matchup for them is much tougher. And I'm just going to go ahead and give that one to the Philadelphia Eagles. Got a comment here. Let me get to it. Hold on. Nina, what is going on? Nina in the building. Let's give a shout out to Nina, getting a shout out from Jennifer Slay, winning the whatever you won, a jersey or whatever it was. I was just so pumped up to see that you won the giveaway because you and your mom are awesome. Everybody knows that follows Nina. It's always a joy to see the pictures the night before, all the gear and everything. That's what we're all about around here. So love to see it. Glad to see you getting gifted some awesome things, and to get that praise and to see her showing you that love, that was awesome, Nina. So hopefully your weekend is off to a great start. I'm sure you're having a great week so far. And look, I appreciate the hell out of you always tuning in. You guys are all awesome, and I really can't wait for this season, to come to an end, where we get the full lesson of what we have here, because it's hard to gauge. People are, oh, I know this, I know that. It's like you can't really study anything until at the end of the season. Okay, a full body of work in a season, and a new offense, new coaches, all this new stuff. I think that we're gonna have some fun this offseason. And we talked about that before this season started. Let's realize that this is a retooling season, and let's get pumped up for the draft. We got 10 draft picks right now. We've got loads of cap space coming our way. This is gonna be awesome. So I appreciate you guys all tuning in throughout the year. And we're trying to wade the storm right now because it's been tough times. That's where I wanted to go with this. But it's nice to see people like Darius Slay's wife doing things like that. It's awesome to see people like Doug Peterson going out of the way to, say, have patience with, Jalen Hurts. It's just things like that. We need it right now. So you love to see it, and just happy for you, Nina. Very happy for you. So thank you for taking the time, of course, for sure. And I know that the Slay family's been doing some awesome things, and it really irked me that people, the way they were talking about him a couple weeks ago, and it's just, I hope people see what good they're doing, not just on the field, Darius Slay, now that he's making plays, but they've been doing great things all season, off season. So great stuff. Hopefully he retires here and, helps these young corners. We've got a stack of young guys that really need developing. So that's what this year's about, man. So I'm just really trying to learn what this team is, and we'll take it from there. Now, part of this young team, we're talking about tight end. So let's keep it going. We'll start with the Jets here. Ryan Griffin, Kenny Yeboah, and we talk about Trevon Wesco being out, Tyler Croft on the IR. They are hurting at tight end. Don't have a lot of talent there. We should be able to shut them down. TJ Edwards has been doing much better. The safeties are doing great work. So I think that they're going to struggle on offense. But our tight end, he did not see much work at all last week. And I understand that this team was struggling mightily, but you need to get Dallas Goddard, tight end 1, involved, and I need to see more 13 personnel before I lose my mind. That would be such a great mismatch for these defenses. Don't know why you're not doing it. You can run the ball behind it. You can pass the ball with these 3 tight ends you have. I just don't understand it. Come on, Sirianni. I know you got it in there. You've got a bright mind. Use it, man, because, well, we freaking need it. So Dallas Goddard and those tight ends, if you use them correctly, I'll be real with you. Advantage, Philadelphia Eagles. I think that you can dominate this team, and I think that the tight end should. I would love to see some work for the wide receivers, but I just really feel, Dallas Goddard should be able to do work. Now, let's not kid ourselves. They have a very good middle linebacker in C.J. Mosley, dealing with, injuries most of his career. But when he's healthy, that dude is phenomenal. So it's going to be a great matchup. That's going to be one of the top 10 matchups tomorrow. But I still feel that not just Dallas Goddard, but that whole tight end room as a whole is just a better advantage for the Eagles to use that 13 personnel and allow your team to not only establish that run, but just really confuse the opposing team. So we'll see. I know that, defenses each week know what Jalen Hurts is, and they know that we're going to try to run the ball. So you got to be careful. When I say run the ball, I want you to run the ball, but you got to do it in different ways. You got to figure different things out, and you still got to pass the ball. Like, you don't just run the ball every play. That's not what I'm saying, but you can't get away from the run and try all this cute stuff half the time. That's kind of where I go with that, but we'll see what this team does, man. And I think Sirianni's still young, so we got to just be patient. Remember what people were saying about Doug Peterson, and it was his first year being a head coach. It's like, let's give these guys some time. And even Doug Peterson said it about Jalen Hurts today. Like, let's have patience. And it's hard. As Eagles fans, we want it and we want it now. But, I've been trying to stay patient all year. And it's like, I prepared myself for this kind of year, because it was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not having a heart attack and dying, because this team, I know what they're going through right now. They're retooling. So that's where we're at, man. And I'm all right with it. And the one thing that makes me feel good is the offensive line. So let's keep talking about this. We'll get into the last piece of the offense here, but their offensive line. Look, man, I like Elijah Vera Tucker, very good young talent. We know who Morgan Moses is from Washington, but he's questionable for this game. They got Laurent Duvernay Tardif, who actually just took over the job from Greg Van Roten not long ago. Connor McGovern, you guys remember from Dallas. And look, I just think that we have struggled mightily with getting pressure. We're like 30th in the league right now. We need to get sacks, and this is the perfect offensive line to do it against. There's no excuse. You need to dominate here, man. And I think we can. I really just, this is not a good offensive line. Mekhi Becton's on the IR. Parker Ferguson, Chuma Edoga, Cameron Clark, they're all on the IR. So, I mean, even their better offensive linemen are hurt. So, not good for them. I'll be real with you. Now, the Eagles' offensive line, this gets me excited. We talk about the future of this team. That left side locked down, Mailata, Dickerson. But who is the future? You know, Kelsey, Johnson not going to be around forever. Hopeful that Brandon Brooks makes it back soon because, well, Jack Driscoll was just placed on IR. Now Nate Erbig's starting there. And I like Nate Erbig as a piece for the future. Same with Jack Driscoll. But are they starters or are they depth? And, you know, I just feel you still next year you have to address that in the draft. I would go after center/guard, somebody that could maybe learn another year under Kelsey if he's here again. We'll see what happens there. Maybe you get some, you know, trade beat for Andre Dillard, whatever you got to do. But I mean, there is talent there, and I'm very excited. I think Sayamalu, when he comes back, maybe you could move him to center if Kelsey goes away, you know, retires. Maybe, you know, you move Dickerson to right guard, whatever you want to do. There are options here. And I really like this offensive line, and they've been dominating. And when you allow them to push forward and run the ball rather than, you know, the statue standing up and blocking, I think pass blocking 50 effing times a game is going to kill anybody. So, I mean, that was a big problem to start the season. You got to continue running that ball, man. I don't want to see Jalen Hurts throwing the ball 25 plus times. Just don't want to see it. So, you shouldn't have to in this game. He shouldn't even have to throw it 20 plus times. And I know people will be upset about that. Well, gee, you didn't pass the ball. It's like, well, you should be dominating so much that you only need to throw every now and again and make them successful when you do. So we'll see what becomes of it. But that was the offense. And I'll be real with you. It ends with the Eagles taking the advantage on the offensive line. And I'll be real with you. This means absolutely nothing. We're just breaking down what the advantage looks like on paper. So we'll see what these teams look like when they come out on Sunday. But so far, we've got the Eagles taking the advantage on all of the offense. So let me know how you're feeling about that. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think there's somewhere where they have the advantage rather than the Eagles? Let me know down below. We're moving on to the defense, though. Let's take a look at their rankings. 27th against the run, 29th against the pass, 31st in total yards allowed, and 32nd in points. They're giving up 30 plus points per game. That is atrocious. So, wow, this offense should be able to pounce, whether it's running, passing. We've talked about it. This offense needs to be able to dominate. They're only getting 2.3 sacks per game, though. But I talk about it, you know, for a team that a lot of the times, you know, they're going against the run because they're not that good. You know, they are getting some sacks. They can do some things. They have some talent there, but not getting interceptions. Middle of the pack with fumble recoveries, and they're 31st in turnovers per game. So they're really not making many plays, but you never know. I'm just saying, we're still a very young team too. So Sirianni versus Saleh is a very interesting matchup. So I can't wait to see, but I'm really hopeful that we just stick to what actually works, accentuate player skill sets. We'll see. Now, this defense, we really needed to start, you know, making some moves here. We're 16th against the run, which I know it doesn't look good right now. You're middle of the pack, but we're actually moving up each week as I make these. So I do like that. We're getting better against the run. And we were giving up like 130, and then it was 125, like 122. So we keep getting better. The pass, 11th against pass, 11th in total yards, and 15th in points. So we're middle of the pack here, kind of. And I really think that we've got some talent. Jonathan Gannon's figuring some things out too. So it's just a whole combination of things. And I think they will get worked out in time. And I think in this draft, you need to load up on defensive talent so that this scheme, this hybrid scheme he's trying to use, would work a lot better. But hey, regardless, we're doing what we can right now. But what we're not doing is getting sacks. 1.6 per game. That is not good at all. 30th in the league. We need to dominate. And each week, man, we've got a banged up offensive line we're facing. This guy's out, that guy's out. And we haven't done anything. I don't like that. So it's time to attack, man. Get after him, whether you're blitzing, whatever you're doing, man. It's time to put Zach Wilson on his ass. Interceptions, we're tied for 20th, but we've been starting to get that. You've seen Darius Slay making plays, TJ Edwards with a great interception. I mean, keep doing that, man. That's all I want to see. Improvement here. Not getting much in the fumble recovery department, and tied for 24th in turnovers per game. That's not good. And I thought we were doing the whole hit principal in the tree nest with the, no, we're not. Okay. Well, regardless, let's get some turnovers in this game. It is the New York Jets, for the love of God. Now let's get into these defenses. We'll start in the middle. Now, we talked about this. Sheldon Rankins doubtful for this game. That is huge. Questionable is full of Runzu Fatakasi, and that's also huge because Sheldon Rankins is probably not going to play. So you could be left with Nathan Shepard getting the start and Jonathan Marshall in there as depth. But Quincy Williams, I mean, he is a force to be reckoned with. He is one of the better defensive tackles in the game, one of the most underrated guys. But yeah, they could definitely be hurting there, and that would be a huge plus for the Eagles. Now, on the defensive end side, we talk about Jonathan Franklin Myers being questionable. That would be huge if he didn't play. He has been doing great. They've got Shaq Lawson, journeyman there, who really didn't live up to his draft stock. But let's be real here. He's still got some talent. They got Kyle Phillips, Tim Ward there for some depth. Finney Curry, prayers up to him on the NFI list. But Carl Lawson, Bryce Huff on the IR. So they're a little banged up there on the defensive line. I think they're decent there, but our defensive line should be one of the most dominant. Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, you've heard the frustration over how they're used at times. Milton Williams continues to get better each week. I still have a lot of hope for this defensive line, and I think this is the kind of game where you can get some damn pressure from not only the interior, but also the edge. And look, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett, Jannard Avery, whoever the hell it is, go get some. And in the 3-4, you're going to see a lot of these two here you see pictured. And you'll see Jannard Avery at the Sam linebacker. Sometimes we're in 4-3. You'll get Kerrigan, Teron Jackson. We'll see how it goes, but we need to get some damn sacks. And I know we've struggled there a little bit, but we've got the talent. This offensive line is nothing in comparison to the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. So throwing it up on the board, I am giving the Eagles the advantage here with the defensive line. I just feel that we should be able to get something going here in this damn game. This is the kind of game where you put your stats back up. All the other teams that got to play the Jets did, so it's our turn. Let's go after Zach Wilson. Now on to the linebacker position. CJ Mosley, we talked about him earlier in the video. I mean, dude's a stud if he stays healthy. Quincy Williams there, brother of Quinnen. I mean, this kid's talented too, but he's questionable for this game. Gerard Davis, he was out last week. We'll see if he plays this week. Got Delshon Phillips. Hamza Nasruddin, you guys remember before the draft we talked about. So they've got some talent there. But I'll be real with you, not afraid of this linebacking core, and I think our run game could dominate against them. And I think that Dallas Goddard can do work on him like CJ Mosley, as I talked about earlier in the video, and the other tight ends can also. So I really feel confident about the Eagles in this. And then I'm going with Alex Singleton, TJ Edwards. Yeah, I think these guys, and I know, look, we play a lot of zone, a lot of things. So when we talk about matchups, it's just kind of looking at it as a paper matchup, right? The whole defense has to go against these guys. You know, the whole offense has to go against, you get what I'm saying. But when comparing the linebackers, you want to talk about running backs or tight ends, you know, whatever their assignment is for that play. I think that we just really, I'm not afraid of Tevin Coleman's old ass if he stays healthy, even Ty Johnson or practice squad Walker, Texas Ranger. I don't care. I don't really give a shit about Ryan Griffin and tight end either. So I just feel, for me, that's another advantage, Philadelphia Eagles. I just feel that they really don't have much that scares me. And we're talking about on paper, man. I don't care. You know what I mean? Any given Sunday, they could still come out and kick our ass. So just because the Eagles are leading in the advantage department doesn't mean anything. Because you talk about last week against the Giants, that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what we talked about. You cannot sleep on a team that you're just better than. Doesn't matter, man. These guys are in the NFL for a reason. So, hey, we found out the hard way. Now we're taking on another New York team in New York. So going back to the same damn place, and we're going against a much lesser team. So we should be able to be pissed off, go in there and whoop some ass. Talked about Bryce Hall being one of the underrated corners in this game, but don't care. Javelin Guidry, Michael Carter II at slot. I just don't think that these guys are anything I'm worried about. These receivers should be able to do work, but they have struggled all damn season. So we shall see this Sunday if they can beat lesser than younger corners. But like I said, they're in the NFL. So it's not like they, are horrible and can't, have a good game. So we'll find out. And what pisses me off is at safety. Obviously, they took Elijah Riley off our practice squad. He has started 2 games already for them, and he'll be starting his 3rd against us. So that pisses me off. I really liked his future here. Thought maybe we could develop him because we have 2 older safeties, but hey, it is what it is. Now we go up against he and Ashton Davis, but they're hurting at the safety position. They grabbed him because Marcus Mayo on IR and LaMarcus Joyner. So thanks to injuries, we lost one of our safeties for the future. That pisses me off, but still not a great secondary where, I feel that I know that we're a little older, but dude, Darius Slay, I can't believe the slander I heard this year about him. I think he is one of the better corners in the game. I think, well, the rest of the world's getting put on notice there. Steven Nelson, you guys know how I felt about adding him in the offseason. Very excited that both these guys are here and they allow them, these younger guys to learn and develop under them. So got a whole bunch of corners here, and we got to find out who can be a part of this future. And, they're getting some learning under this secondary, but I think this secondary should be able to shut down the Jets wide receivers, tight ends, running backs out of the backfield, whatever it is. But I'm confident about it. And Rodney McLeod, Anthony Harris, staying healthy, Kayvon Wallace, Marcus Epps getting some reps, Chasseray on special teams. Hey, everybody whooping some ass. I feel once again, advantage goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. So another week, another New York team, another advantage. I'm just hoping it's not another loss. Now, we never leave out the special teams department, so let's go through it. Now, we talked about got Matt Amendola as their kicker, but they've also got a practice squad kid that is protected, so maybe they bring him up. If this kid's not good enough, we'll find out. Braden Mann at punter, Thomas Hennessy at long snapper, a very average group. And then you got Barrios back there as your return man. Tevin Coleman sometimes is back there, but he's probably going to be used as a running back, so doubt you see him. But we shall see. Barrios, you don't sleep on him, but I think our special teams department has been great so far this year. So I'm not real worried about the return game there. Jake Elliott's done phenomenal. Hopefully he makes the Pro Bowl. Sippos the same, and same for Rick Lovato. This whole unit has been great. So love to see it. And then I'd love to see our return game actually get effing going. Whether you got to put Kenny Gainwell back there, Quez Walker, whoever you use. It's time, dude. Maybe put Darius Slay back there. I don't care. I know they make jokes about it, but seriously, do whatever you got to do. Let's make some damn plays in the special teams department. But I think, if anything, we are a team that's very capable of doing that. I like our special teams units. I'm going with the Eagles advantage again. And look, just because we have the advantage across the board does not mean that we're going to win this game. I mean, this team has to come out hungry, pissed off, and you got to be willing to show what you've learned, where you're going to grow in certain areas that you need to. So this is an important game to me. I want to see Jalen Hurts healthy. Hopefully he's out there. I want to see what Nick Sirianni does against a team that he should beat. I want to see us put up 35 plus points, man. I want to see us dominate, or I'm not going to be happy because you should be able to. We've seen what you've done against better teams, average teams, and crap teams. So I want to see you go against the bottom of the barrel team and go out there and smack them in the mouth, because they're going to be looking to do the same thing to you. They saw what the Giants did. So hey, let's strap in for an interesting game. But that was it, ladies and gentlemen. Your Eagles and Jets Week 13 roster comparison and matchup advantages. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel there's an area where I should have put the advantage for the Jets? Let me know how you're feeling about this game. But I will be back tomorrow, and we will be doing the top 10 matchups to keep our eyes on for this game. But I appreciate you guys taking the time on this beautiful Friday night. Hopefully your weekend is off to a great start. But I will be back tomorrow. Reach out if you guys need anything in between that time. You want to talk some birds, you need to talk about life. Always here for you guys. Appreciate you guys being here for me. So have a great night. Stay safe. And as always, go birds!